My name is Lin Manuel Miranda. I am the songwriter on VIVO, and I also play VIVO. VIVO begins for me in about 2009. I read a treatment, and the screenplay had this character named VIVO and Andres, and they were in Cuba, and it really was about sort of music and friendship and in a weird way, grief, but in a way that felt very accessible to people of all ages, and just fell in love with it and fell in love with sort of trying to tell music from that part of the world. I'd never written music for singing and talking anthropomorphic animals before, and it didn't happen. It was at another company and it didn't happen. And then around 2015, 2016, like VIVO kind of wouldn't leave me alone. And so started working on it again with Chiara Alegria Hudes, my co-writer on In the Heights, with whom I just love writing. And we started working with Kirk D'Amico on sort of telling VIVO's story. And Chiara brought so much to the story that wasn't there before. She brought Gabby to the table and really kind of clarified the journey. And it really is kind of a love letter to the two things that I think live forever, like music and love, and how they're kind of the same thing. And so it's been a joy to work on it all these years. The only natural choice to help us work on this was my friend Alex Lacamoire, who was part of my music team on In the Heights, and did arrangements and orchestrations on that along with Bill Sherman. And then this is his first sort of solo film score. Alex is Cuban-American, grew up in all of the places where this movie takes place. And so everything that comes out of him is authentic, but we also already had a shorthand of nearly 20 years working together. So it was really fun to go from him just sort of interpreting and arranging my work to going back and forth and him writing orchestral moments for the show and bringing that Cuban authenticity to the score. It really felt like a natural extension of our working relationship. You know, Alex is an incredible musician, an incredible writer in his own right. And so I could see the fun he was having in terms of digging through the sounds of his childhood and his culture, and what he would bring to the table, and getting to bounce those off each other. I'll give you an example. There's a song in the movie called Presente. It was a throwaway moment. We just needed, there was a moment where we wanted to hear Marta Sandoval like in the club. And what is she singing? And we sort of, our charge in that moment was to create a great Latin song that has never existed but feels like a standard. And so I threw some lyrics at him. I just said, "Que diga presente," and he kind of ran with the ball and made this really amazing arrangement to it. And then he called me back and was like, "I think I need more lyrics to this song. It's becoming more of a moment." And then we got to kind of write the whole song, and that's me writing lyrics to his music, which we'd never done before. So again, that arose very organically out of the story needs of the movie. So we've worked in so many different ways that I think we really work from a place of best idea in the room wins, and it was really a joy to like not only bring him my songs and see what he could add to that, but also then see how those songs interacted with his score elements. Listen, we're looking for Cuban royalty, and you don't get more royal than Gloria, and she is so incredible. I mean, what she's accomplished for Cuban Americans, for Latinos in general, for just music in general. I mean, I can't think of a time in my life where Gloria wasn't part of the sonic landscape. And I remember, you know, dancing as hard to Miami Sound Machine as a kid as my kids are dancing to my own drum when they hear it in the movie. And so it's a thrill to get to write for her. I mean, it really is a bucket list moment to write words and music that she's going to sing. VIVO is a kinkajou, which are not common to Cuba, but he sort of found himself there through an accident of circumstance and was rescued by this incredible musician named Andres. And they have since become sort of one of the most incredible acts in Havana City. And they perform their music in the plaza, and they have their routine, their musical routine and their life routine, like down to a science. And you know, it's a modest life, but they are happy. And change comes in the form of this letter from Andres's old musical partner, Malta Sandoval, who has left Cuba and become an international sensation. She's doing her farewell concert at the Mambo Cabana in Miami and is inviting Andres to reunite with her. And Andres sort of confesses to VIVO and to us that she was the love of his life. He wrote a song for her. He never gave it to her. He hasn't seen her in decades. And it becomes VIVO's mission to deliver this song to her in time for that closing concert. Along the way, he meets Gabby, who lives in Florida, and there's no describing Gabby. You have to see Gabby to believe her, but she is a very plucky and brilliant kid who has her own notions of music and what they can be. And this friendship forms between VIVO and Gabby, this musical partnership and friendship. And it really is kind of a road movie. Sort of like when life throws changes at us, how do we adapt and how do we keep going? But it is their journey to deliver that song from Havana to Malta in Miami. What I love about VIVO is that he's got a lot of contradictions. You know, on the one hand, he is this freewheeling, wildly talented creature who is an incredible musician and really prizes that and is proud of that. And at the same time, he really is kind of like likes things to stay the same. Like he's really terrified of change. He's terrified if we go offbeat in life or in music. And so, you know, for him to meet someone like Gabby, who has never found a rule she couldn't break, is quite the odd couple pairing. But the notion that this creature who just like is in love with the routine and I think loves his life, when his life is upended, how do you adapt to that? And I think there's a lesson in that for all of us in terms of how do you adapt when life changes on you. You know, you can make all the plans you want, but life will throw you curveballs, and VIVO rises to the occasion. I think this movie talks about love in a really open and uncomplicated way, which is, it sort of puts love and music on the same table and says, these are the things that last forever. And we can lose people in our lives, but the love we had with them, that we shared with them, and the music we shared with them, that's not going anywhere. I think that's such an important lesson. You know, it really kind of is, I think when the world changes on you, and listen, the world has gone through so many changes in the past year, how do you move on? How do you adapt? And what are the things that continue to live inside you when the world changes? I think that's what folks take with them. I know my kids, they love this movie. I mean, really like above and beyond anything I've ever worked on. I get asked to put on VIVO more than anything. And they love the friendship that blossoms between Gabby and VIVO, and really how we can be very different and become friends, and also and create things together. I think that's the other thing that is sort of an incredible theme through it. Like the things we create together kind of go on and outlive us.